This is the IMPHAL station of All India Radio. In our weekly program of English Talk today, we have a very interesting topic for the farmers, which is biofertilizer and its importance with Dr. Sachin, VAID, Scientist, Regional Center for Fertilizer, LANGOL, and the interviewer is KAKCHINGTABAM RITESH SHARMA.
It's good to have someone who knows a lot about a very important thing with the farmers nowadays with respect to biofertilizers. Sachin is here in the studio. Before we go ahead with the topic, we are going to discuss a brief introduction about yourself, what your area of expertise is. Please let the listeners know.
Thank you very much for inviting to this studio on AIR. Myself, Dr. Sachin. Presently, I am working as Junior Scientific Officer in Regional Center of Organic Farming, IMPHAL. It is actually a subordinate office of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. This office is basically related to the promotion of organic farming throughout all the 8 northeastern states. Presently, the centrally sponsored schemes which are going on in relation to organic farming promotion are Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana, that is applicable on all India basis. As well as for Northeast especially, we are having Mission Organic Value Chain Development. We are also the nodal lab for the biofertilizer and organic manure analysis. This is the brief introduction about our organization. We are also giving training to the farmers as well as to the state extension officers, those who are actually dealing directly with the farmers regarding the different practices or how to manage their organic farms, means how to manage their farms organically. We are basically involved into that.
And what are the things that you deal with, particularly yourself?
Actually, I am PhD in microbiology. Our main work is with the promotion of organic farming. So promotion part involves the training of the extension officers of state agriculture as well as horticulture departments. Apart from that, training to the farmers. This is the main mandate of our office. Apart from this, we are the nodal quality control analysis lab for the different biofertilizer and organic manure samples, organic fertilizer samples.
So you get in touch with the farmers.
Yes.
So we'll start with the topic. If we have to define in a very common term, how will you explain biofertilizers?
First of all, in order to understand biofertilizers, we need to understand what are microorganisms. All those organisms that are invisible to the human naked eye due to their extremely small size, they are considered as microorganisms because they are only visible through the microscope. And among them, there are different categories like bacteria, fungi, algae, viruses, protozoa, nematodes. But you will be astonished to know that these microorganisms, those who are invisible to us, they are present everywhere. Means they are ubiquitous or they are cosmopolitan. It means they are present in air, in soil, in water.
Right in the studio as well.
Yes. But actually today's topic is on biofertilizers. So we will focus on those microorganisms which are present within the soil. So in a layman's language, if I have to talk about the biofertilizers or microorganisms, then I can categorize them into 2 main categories. One category comprises those microorganisms that are beneficial to the plants because they are providing different types of nutrients to plants. And the other category is those who are deleterious to the plants because they are causing different types of diseases in plants. So the first category is also indirectly supporting the plants by suppressing the growth of second category. So biofertilizers are the first category of microorganisms, means they are the beneficial soil microorganisms because they are involved in providing different types of nutrients to plants. That's why they are biofertilizers. Now these microorganisms which are actually beneficial to the plants because they are providing different types of nutrients as well as they are providing indirectly protection to the plants by suppressing the growth of their counterparts. So these microorganisms, they are isolated from the soil by different soil scientists, those who are working throughout the world, and they are categorized inside the lab for their different PGPR, means plant growth promotion or plant growth promotory regulatory activities. Or plant growth promotion activities. They are categorized for different purposes. Then those microorganisms which sustain, or we can say that which pass these tests, means they show their good plant growth promotory characteristics, they will be used in field trials. And after getting the confirmed results, only then these microorganisms will be available into the market for use by the farmers as biofertilizers.
To promote the growth.
Yes, to promote the growth of the plants.
And if we have to differentiate, or if we have to explain the types, what are the types of biofertilizers that are available?
Basically, the biofertilizers are providing different types of nutrients. So which nutrient actually plant is getting from the biofertilizer, on that basis they are having different types. Like we humans need carbohydrates, fats, proteins for proper functioning of our body. Similarly, plants also needs variety of nutrients. And among them, the main nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Apart from that, there are many other nutrients. And some are required in very minute quantities. They are called as micronutrients. So these three major nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus and potash. So there are certain microorganisms, those microorganisms who are meeting the nitrogen demand of the plants. They are called as nitrogen fixing biofertilizers. Similarly, there are phosphorus solubilizing biofertilizers, means there are phosphorus is present within the soil. But there are certain reactions going on, due to that part of phosphorus is converted into the unavailable form. So plants are not able to absorb that phosphorus from the soil. As a result, deficiency comes. So in order to overcome that deficiency, there are certain microorganisms who are actually blessed with the ability of solubilizing this phosphorus and making it available to the plants. So among these actually, there are certain bacteria, those who are having ability of this phosphorus solubilization, as well as certain fungi are there, those who are having ability of this phosphorus solubilization. So they are nowadays available in the market with the name of phosphorus solubilizing bacteria. Apart from that, there are microorganisms nowadays available for meeting the micronutrient demands of the plants. So main micronutrients like zinc, iron, copper, manganese, these are required by the plants. So zinc solubilizing biofertilizers are available. Potash mobilizing biofertilizers are available. Because I have talked about the nitrogen fixing biofertilizers. So in that case also, there are two different types of nitrogen based biofertilizers are there. Means category, if we can classify in between, then we can say the first one is the free living nitrogen biofertilizers. Means there are certain microorganisms, because biofertilizers are more or less what? They are the beneficial soil microorganisms. So free living nitrogen fixing microorganisms. Free living, I am saying, it means that they are freely suspended within the soil. They are not making any association with any particular plant, and they are freely suspended within the soil and fixes the nitrogen. When I am saying fixes the nitrogen, I mean that they are fixing the atmospheric nitrogen, because in our atmosphere nitrogen is there, as we all know. So they are blessed actually, and they have the capability to fix this nitrogen and convert it into ammonia. That ammonia is actually incorporated into the plants for different types of amino acids and protein production. Now, apart from this, there are symbiotic nitrogen fixers. So in order to understand symbiotic nitrogen fixers, we need to understand what is symbiosis. It is actually a relationship between two different organisms who are in close, intimate association with each other. But with this relationship, both will derive the benefit. So these symbiotic nitrogen fixers are actually making association with plants. Now those who are making association with leguminous plants, that is, they are different. And there are certain category of microorganisms who are making association with non-leguminous plants. If I have to quote the example, I can say that rhizobium is the best example. And if I'm using the term leguminous, it means the pulse crops. Or you have ever uprooted any pulse crop and you have seen the nodules formed on the roots. So those nodules are actually the sites or the houses of the bacteria where this rhizobium is actually present, and it is fixing the nitrogen through the atmosphere and giving that nitrogen in the form of ammonia to the plants. Rhizobium is the example of leguminous, symbiotic association with leguminous plants. Frankia is the another organism, microorganism, which is making an association with non-leguminous plants. But the activity is same, both are doing the nitrogen fixation. And in place like Manipur, we have seen ponds are full of azolla. Green colored blooms are there over the surface of the water.
Pond,
Yes. So that azolla is actually harboring in its fronts a microorganism known as Anabena. It is a cyanobacterium. That cyanobacteria is also blessed with nitrogen fixing ability. So that's why this azolla is very much recommended for rice fields. Yes, its growth is very much recommended. Apart from this, there is one another category, and nowadays it is also gaining very popularity. That is mycorrhiza. Myco is actually a scientific term for fungus. Myco. and rhiza is the synonym for root. So mycorrhiza means association of fungus with root, plant root. There are certain fungi, those who are making association with plant roots, and in turn what happens that this association leads to the increase in surface area of the roots.
Right.
Once the surface area is increased, the nutrient absorbing capacity as well as water absorbing capacity of the plant greatly enhances. And once this ability enhances, obviously the growth and the yield of the plant also increases. So based on this, what type of nutrients and how they are helping the plants, the biofertilizers are classified actually.
So which means you are very important to the farmers, and the relationship that you have with the farmers is very important. Just as you said, you have explained everything about it. Suppose, for example, if I am a farmer and if I have issues with the field that I have problems growing my crops in the field. Sometimes the farmers are illiterate, they cannot communicate properly with the organization available with the government. So what are the things a neutral farmer or say a common farmer can do, or how they can find out what are the issues they have with the field and how they can approach your organization to help the field to grow more crops?
A farmer is the real scientist because he is daily doing agriculture in his fields.
Right.
But as far as means my experience is concerned, what I would like to suggest that the farmers, before selecting any variety or any seed, they should meet at least nearby state agricultural departments or horticultural departments, or nearby ICR, KVKs or central government offices related to agriculture. They can explain the symptoms if they are experiencing any particular disease in their fields. And nowadays everyone is having the phones with camera facility. They can take the pictures and they can show that to the scientists. From them they can get the idea that which disease is this one and which are the varieties, those who are tolerant to that particular diseases. So it is my opinion that they should go before a growing season comes. They should go and meet the scientists in their nearby areas, and they can ask for the proper selection of the variety, because it is the variety which is going to pay them the dividends. If the variety is prone to diseases, then the production will not come. Farmer is not going to harvest anything. Means he will suffer losses. And further in our country, because most of the farmers are small or marginal farmers, so from the productivity as well as production point of view, it is very much important that variety selection should be done very carefully. And within this variety selection, there are two factors. One is the local adaptability, means adaptability to local conditions. If a farmer thinks that the variety which is doing very good in South India will equally perform well in Northeast, it is not like so, because here the temperature is different, the rainfall pattern is different, the soil type is different. So it may or may not perform equally well. This is the one thing, adaptability to local conditions. And second is the resistance to locally prevalent diseases. Like in particular farms, you can see that farms are having a particular type of diseases. So those diseases can be overcome only if the farmer will go for use of resistant varieties. So this part is very much important. And to understand that which variety they have to use, farmers should meet the nearby officers, state agriculture departments or horticulture departments or central government offices or ICRs, KVKs. Everyone is there to help the farmers nowadays, as well as Kisan call centers are also there. They can call over there.
That's a new thing because the farmers might not know, and it's good that you have provided a very good information to the listeners as well. So there's a Kisan call centers.
They can call over them directly and explain the symptoms if they are having certain kind of issues related to their fields. So
the farmers should consult before plantation.
Yes.
Okay, that's true. And how is the mechanism of action? How does it work? How the system work?
Let us start with the nitrogen-based biofertilizers. Nitrogen is present in atmosphere, as I already explained. And there are two categories. The free-living nitrogen fixers who are freely suspended within the soil. And the symbiotic nitrogen fixers. The one like rhizobium, those who are making association with leguminous crops. Frankia, those who are making association with non-leguminous crops. Then azolla is also making association with the Anabena. Actually, they all are having the nitrogenase enzyme. That nitrogenase enzyme is actually responsible for fixing the atmospheric nitrogen and converting it into ammonia. If we take the example of leguminous crops, if you have ever uprooted the crop any leguminous crop like pulse crop or peas, then you can see nodules are present on the roots of those plants. So those nodules are actually the sites where where bacteria is living, that is rhizobium in case of leguminous crops, and nitrogen fixing is going on over there due to the help of this nitrogenase enzyme.
Okay.
So atmospheric nitrogen is converted into ammonia. Ammonia is actually incorporated into the formation of amino acids.
Okay.
If we go into deep, actually there is a TCA cycle, Krebs cycle. So pyruvate is there. When this ammonia is incorporated into pyruvate, then leading to the formation of an amino acid alanine. Similarly, different amino acids are formed with the incorporation of this ammonia, which is fixed by the bacteria by converting of atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. After the different amino acids are formed, they are joined together and form a protein.
Okay.
So that's the first part of the interview, biofertilizer and its importance, with Dr. Sachin VAID, scientist, Regional Center for Fertilizer, LANGOL. Interviewing him was KAKCHINGTABAM RITESH Sharma. We will be back again for the second and the concluding part of the interview next week. Until then, take care.